Right, before I get going, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Heavenly Father in the name of His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Wahakodash Rakah. All right, double honors to the elders over at the Great Millstone who were well. All right, also shalom to the rest of the elders of the Israelite nation who are working diligently, in our teaching the true doctrine of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. Shalom Wabarakim to the hopeful elect of Israel, the hopeful elect men, the men teaching His truth and true honor and sincerity. All right, in the four corners of the earth where we have been spread. Also, shalom to the rest of the 1/3 of the Israelite nation, the men, women, and children who have forsaken the world and have come back to their true heritage, which is the scriptures, the Bible, right, and true. Again, so before I get going on this lesson, I'd like to say this message is specifically to you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indian people, also scattered abroad. You are all, in fact, the true Israelites of the Bible, all right? This book is written about you, and it's for you. And ultimately, it's a history book. It's your history. It's your book of heritage. And most importantly, it's a book of instruction, if you will. It's an instruction manual for your life. And it shows you how to carry out the value of being an Israelite. It gives you the actual understanding and meaning and what it takes to be and fulfill the role of who you are. And the issue is that, most of you people, of the Israelite nation, you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and Native American Indian people, so-called, you take the book for naught. You don't cherish it. You don't understand the true intent of the book. You're not realizing that. And then when you actually do go on to realize the true nature of the book, when you come back to it, it gives you fulfillment and it shows you how to walk, right? It gives you direction. And it also explains why we are in our current position. It explains why we so lowly valued and so highly degraded. It also shows you how to gain back your stature. It shows you how to get back to that position in the world, where we truly should be at. All right. And it will show you how, like I said, it shows you how to get back to your stature. And it shows you how to get out of the current situation we're in, which is, being on TV, being shot down by police on video. When you turn the news on, it's always some kind of story going on with people of our nation. And that's ultimately, again, because they don't know who they are. So we need to come back to your true heritage. And that's why this message is specifically to you. And we can get into the lesson. So we're going to start off in Proverbs. This is chapter 29. In verse 18, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So it's pretty profound. Also, it's pretty simple. It says where there is no vision, and that's where the people perish. And we will go to the next scripture just to explain, what the vision is. So this is Isaiah chapter 29 in verse 11, and it says, and the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed. And just to, again, to recap the Bible, the words of the Bible, the scriptures, they're written to you Israelites specifically. Isaiah was an Israelite, and the Bible is a book to and for the Israelites. So when it says, and the vision of all has become unto you, it's talking about the Israelites. And it says it's come unto you. That vision of all is coming to you as the words of a book that is sealed. So this book, for one, is sealed. That's something to very importantly know. All right, this book is sealed. So that means anybody just can't pick it up and understand it. You may be able to read the words within it, but do you know what they're saying? And that's one of the biggest issues that we have, as a nation, as a people right now. Some of us have the vision, read the vision, but we don't truly understand it. And that's because your pastors your preachers, your church has been set up to fail you, you know. And then on top of that, all the other nations, you got so-called white men who are inside the Bible called Edomites. They read the Bible and they have turned it completely upside down and given it to you. And not only them, but all the other heathen nations as well. All right, so the vision of all has become unto you. It came into you. You know what the Bible is, but it's a book that's sealed, and anybody just can't pick it up and read it. But it says, which men delivered to one that is learned. See, so you got to take it to somebody who has learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. So ultimately, you have to get this book through somebody who has learned. All right. And we go hop up to verse 10 just to, give a reason why, our people don't truly have it. Verse 10, it says, for the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep. And what is going on when you sleep? Your eyes are closed. You're not truly in reality when your eyes are closed and you're in deep sleep. You're dreaming. How do you get the vision in that way? And it says, and hath closed your eyes. And the prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered. So for generations, our eyes been closed and we've been in a deep sleep. And we've been reading this book, upside down, not within the true doctrine, not in the true way of it. But we are in a time now that, the book is being revealed to us, it's been opened, it's been unsealed. And we have men set up, worldwide who are able to teach this and know the true doctrine of it. And that's what the vision is. The vision is this book. It's the true doctrine of the book, the reality of it, what it's really saying, not pretty much what your pastor is saying, because they've been set up, ultimately by the Lord, and also through all types of wickedness, to teach you it wrong. It's been covered, and the Lord set that up. So real quick, we gonna go to the definition for the word vision.
Vision.
It says the faculty or state of being able to see. So being able to see, it's a state of being able to see. That's what vision is, and it said our eyes were covered, we're in a deep sleep. And that's why when you watch all of the music videos, you watching TV, you seen all these celebrities, you seen these people with money, they got the Lambos, they're in their music videos, they got the cars, the big house you think you want, they got all the money, they able to travel and do all of these things. And you see all those things, you think that's what you want. And it's because you don't truly have vision. You're not truly seeing things for what they really are. Vision will be you actually seeing the reality of things. You being able to see that, these people are probably not even driving their own cars. That probably don't belong to them. The house they shot the video on, that doesn't really belong to them. And ultimately, these people aren't truly happy. They're poor and they're miserable, and they're not really having a good time. It just seems like that when the lights and cameras are rolling, but outside of that, they're probably miserable, and they're probably not really enjoying all of these things that you really see. And that'd be actually having vision, seeing the reality. And the next one, the second definition for vision, fits the lesson perfectly, and it explains what I just said. It says the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. So it's showing you that there's two ways for you to go about this. You can use imagination, and within imagination, you making up all of these things. Like I said, all these dudes have imaginary happiness because it's not truly theirs. They haven't really secured anything because, most people in the industry, they're giving up their lives, their actual lives to obtain all these things. And they're not truly able to enjoy their riches because they're ultimately slaves. But it says the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. And wisdom, the only place you can find wisdom is within the words of the Bible, within the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and we will get that. What is wisdom? So hop back here. We go to Job chapter 28, verse 28. It says, and a man So like, and unto man, he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. So the fear of the Lord is wisdom. That's what true wisdom is. So you can plan about the future, and the future of your planning, we can go back to that really quick. It says the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. So you thinking about and planning your future should be based upon the scriptures in this book, because this book tells you that you're supposed to be a nation set on high above all other nations of the world. And it also gives you the directions on how to be so. And that's specifically, again, to you Israelites. So planning the future, you need to do so with wisdom. And the wisdom is given into you through the fear of the Lord, because that is wisdom. All right? And then we can hop here real quick in Ecclesiastes chapter 19. Hop up to verse 20 for a double down. It says, the fear of the Lord is all wisdom. And this is how you actually go on to have wisdom, right? It says, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law. So simply, to be wise is to perform the law. Perform means to do. And you find the law within the vision. And the vision is that book that is sealed. So within you obtaining the vision that you had to learn through someone who has learned, you find how you need to be performing and what you need to do so you can actually obtain all of these things. You can obtain actual true life through this. You can actually obtain that status of being a nation that was set on high above all. All right? So we'll hop back. To Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So when you look around and you look at your people, the people of the Israelite nation, you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native American Indian people, all right? You seeing that your people are perishing. That means that something's missing, and that's the vision. Therefore, you're calling yourself Negroes, you're calling yourself Mexicans, you're calling yourself Cubans, you're calling yourself Colombians, Chileans, Haitian, black, brown people, everything but Israelites. And you're doing all these things, you're selling out to be in the industries, You're doing all these things because you have no vision. There's no vision there. And it says without that vision, people are going to perish. Well, who's perishing at the highest degree, highest level? It'd be you. But it gives you the antidote here. It says, but he that keepeth the law, and we just found out what keeping the law was. Keeping the law would have you be considered wise. Where do you find the law? Within the vision. See? But he that keepeth the law, happy he is. So for you to actually obtain that happiness, obtain those things that you need, obtain that status of being set on high above all nations. And I'm gonna get that real quick just because I keep quoting it. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. It says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. It says, the Lord thy God hath chosen thee, you Israelites, to be a special people unto himself. And it says, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. See, the Lord has chosen you specifically to be a special people unto him. Holy. That means set apart. And it says above all people that are upon the face of the earth. How do you actually obtain that? How do you get back to that status? How do you get back to that stature? You need the vision. And the vision is coming to you as a book that is sealed. So you need to find someone who has learned. You need to listen, learn, and also do. Once you learn, obtain the knowledge, you go on to do. But he that keepeth, that means you do. It says, happy is he. That's how you obtain all of these things. And it's just simply coming back to your true heritage, knowing who you are, and actually doing what it says. We'll get a few more scriptures and we'll close out. We'll go out to the New Testament. This is St. John chapter 13. And I'm going to start at verse 12. And it reads, so after he had washed their feet and had taken his garments and was set down again, he said unto them, know ye what I have done to you? And this is red letters. So this means Yahushua speaking, Yahushua being who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right. He says, know ye what I have done to you. All right. He says, ye call me master and Lord. And he's talking to the 12 disciples, which are his students. He says, ye call me master and Lord, and ye say, well, for so am I. And he was just saying, you call me master and Lord. Master just meaning teacher. He said, you say, well, so you're saying you're right. He said, because it's true. He says, if I then, your Lord and master, so if I'm your teacher, have washed your feet, he says, ye also ought to wash one another's feet, because he's setting an example. Yahushua was the prototype. The prototype is what is made for an example. So Yahushua was our teacher. He shows us what to do. You know, that's why we're likened into being sheep. Sheep just follow the next sheep that's in front of them. You know, we just follow the lamb, because Yahushua is known as the lamb. We're following the young sheep, you know, who is also our shepherd, you know, which is another thing that the Lord be likened to, or be called. He said, if I then, your Lord and master, have washed your feet, he says, ye ought to wash one another's feet. He says, for I have given you an example. See, he said, I'm your example, that ye should do as I have done to you. See, so he's basically just saying, what I do, you should do. And again, if you read all these things, you can probably visually see them, because this is a vision. This is instruction. This is what you ought to be doing. And he says, verily, verily, I say unto you, so truly I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him. So ultimately, you're not better than your master. Why? Because you learned everything you knew from your master. You know, even if your teachings or understanding exceeds your master's one day, you will never know without your teacher. But that's not the point. So we go stay here. And it just simply says, if ye know these things, right? If you know these things, if you know, it says, happy are ye if ye do them. So again, knowledge, and then you go on to do things, and that leads you to be happy, because you're going to be fulfilling your whole purpose, you know, of being here, you know, being an Israelite, is you just following the commandments. And the Lord Yahushua, he was perfect. So he is the perfect example to follow. It says, if you know these things, happy are ye if you do them. And as I said from the beginning, this is a book, you know, of instruction. It's just showing you how and what to do so you can actually obtain. So we'll get this last definition real quick. Instruction. So it says, this is the definition for instruction. It says a direction or order. So it's a book of direction and order. And it says detailed information telling how something should be done, operated, or assembled. All right. So it's a book full of detailed information telling how something should be done, operated, or assembled. You Israelites, it's a guidebook. It's the book for your life. And you can see here, Bible is an actual synonym, you know, for the word instruction. So this is definitely a book of instruction. We go hop back to Proverbs chapter 29 and 18, and then we'll close out. Proverbs 29 and 18, it says, where there is no vision, right? And we know the vision is this book of instructions. It says the people perish. So we don't know who you are. You don't know what you need to be doing. You're going to be led astray, and you're going to be perishing, as we currently see. So you need to turn back to your true heritage. You need to turn back to who you are. You need to drop all of those bywords and come back to being an Israelite and follow through. Because it says, but he that keepeth the law again, you find the law within the vision, which is this book, that we call the Bible. It says, happy is he. So if you're looking to obtain and to achieve happiness, this is where you find it. Those of you of the Israelite nation. So with that said, I'm going to say, Lord willing, this was edifying. And we'll close out and say shalom.